Hi, so I realize that people who watch stupid videos like these are around the age where if they plan to attend college in America, or rather if their parents are planning for them to attend college in America, they're starting to think about taking the SAT. So as someone who has taken the SAT twice, I feel that it only makes sense for me to pass down what I've learned about the actual taking of the SAT, obviously because I learned like nothing else. First off, what is the SAT? Well, it stands for the Scholastic Aptitude Test, but you can call it the bane of your existence and the reason you think you're a failure, or the BOYEATRYTYAF for short. It's what's called a standardized test. By giving every idiot the same test, colleges can tell who is less idiotic than all the other idiots and therefore know who to admit into their college, which is actually kind of counterintuitive when you think about it, since wouldn't you want the biggest idiots to have access to the best education? Like, why don't we just send every anti-vaxxer, flat earther, conspiracy theorist to Harvard Law School and... Oh, wait, apparently they tried it with Ben Shapiro. It doesn't work. The SAT is administered and scored by this company called College Board, who also administer the PSAT and AP tests. Their name sounds official and reassuring, but trust me, these guys are basically Satan for students, except Satan actually cared about other things besides money, like trying to get humans to forget that his real name is Beelzebub. But too bad, your future lays in their hands. Now, before we talk about the structure of the test, it's time for a little something that I like to call terrible things we all know but leave on the back burner, because it's not like we can do anything about them. We watch Minecraft, for God's sake, we better help ourselves first. Today, we restate the fact that the SAT is kind of bad and has terrible racist origins. Here's an interesting video I found on it, played at 5,000% speed so I don't get copyrighted. Wow, how cool, the SAT is bad. Oh my god, that's poggers, bro. Can't wait to take it. On to the test. Good news, the test is all multiple choice and you don't get penalized for wrong answers. Bad news, it's like 3.5 hours long and you'll probably still run out of time. So this is how the test went for me the second time I took it. I walk into the test building. In my case, it's a school and it almost always is. There's a window from like 7:45 to 8 a.m. where you can arrive, but everyone arrives at either 7:45 or 8 a.m. And then you show your ID and you prove that you're not rich enough to pay someone else to take your SAT, and then they line you up against a wall, and some test administrator who either hates their job or is way too excited to be awake at 8 a.m. tells you to turn off your phone, because if even a single damn electron shifts through the wires in your phone, they'll take your test and eat it and spit it out and shred it and burn it and make you eat it too, because you voided your test. And as someone who is now ousted out of society because you do not know what percentile you're in, your only possible career path left is human paper shredder, and you are doomed to spend the rest of your life in some vegan-ass company that makes biodegradable nuclear waste and needs a human paper shredder because the kale chompers that work there are too worried about normal paper shreds causing cancer. Then we're all funneled into test rooms like lambs to a slaughter! No, I'm kidding, it's not that bad. Unless you did it during COVID times and they put you in some giant room, like at my school. The first time I took it, we took it in our field house, which is like a field, but indoors, in a house. And it has these huge windmill-sized fans on the ceiling that were on to like keep the place ventilated. So it was like we were taking the SAT in a giant wind tunnel, and it was honestly the funniest thing ever, but hey, at least I got to take the SAT. Then the administrator person reads off a script that sounds like a choose your way adventure, and sometimes they get stuck in an infinite loop where like paragraph 4 leads back to paragraph 2, which tells you to read paragraph 3, and it means that the test actually starts like 2 hours after it's supposed to. But finally they tell us we can take the damn test, and you flip open the test booklet and surprise, it's not actually the test yet. College Board needs to know everything about you. Yo, what's up, kid? What's your name? When you born, baby? What grade you in? When you plan to graduate, huh? What's your GPA? What race are you? No reason, just curious. What's your email address? We just want to help you find your dream college by letting colleges find you. Nah, it won't overload your email and your physical mailbox with letters from colleges that you will probably never get into. We don't sell these. Okay, then we finally get to take the test, like actually start the test, and the examiner goes on her phone, just to spite us, of course. So this section is actually less of a section and more of a filter. It's not meant to evaluate your reading comprehension, it's actually just meant to test if you have an attention span. If you don't, this part is miserable. The reading section is like the nemesis of our TikTok addicted generation, because instead of 30-second videos with fun music and colorful subtitles, you get to read the contentious arguments of two scientists debating whether some reed growing in some river is good or bad, and then answer like 9 questions about what they really mean. Don't worry though, if you've reached this point in the video, you're totally good. Thanks for sticking around. Next, there's a 10-minute break. Here, I stood by my desk and I thought about whether college was really worth it. Also, I was taking the test in a school I didn't go to, and the classroom I was in was obviously owned by some like friggin' pop Funko collector. So I'm literally determining my future while trying not to look at this giant shelf of every single pop Funko in the universe. This guy literally owned George Washington crossing the Delaware. Why is that a thing? Why is that a pop Why does that need to be immortalized in weird vinyl action figures that people don't open? Why? Another thing you get to do during breaks is eat. This is the most fun part of the SAT. However, since everyone brings their own food, it's actually kind of easy to feel bad when you're, scarfing down raisins your mom packed for you while the kid next to you is nose deep in cocaine. But you just gotta remember that even though he'll ace the next section, he will definitely crash by the time we get to calculator math. Actually though, I brought like raisins and granola bars because I was like, you are what you eat, heart, pray your hands, eat well, feel well, treat your body like a temple. But some kid in my room walked in with 2 bags of Dunkin', and everyone was like, this kid's about to get a 1600. He's clearly the smartest one here. Oh my god. The last section was a marathon. This one is a damn speed run. You have less than a minute per question, so you better hope you know where commas go. However, it's probably the easiest section unless you're more of a math person. If that's the case, you're gonna love what comes next. This might be the hardest section logistically, because in the space of 2 seconds, your brain has to transfer from speedrunning grammar questions to grinding through math. It's kind of jarring. However, if you're an 11th or 12th grader, the math is honestly not that bad. For some of my friends, it's actually so easy that they finished all 20 of the questions in 10 minutes. I'm nothing special at math, so I just pace myself for about a minute per question, and you'll finish with time to spare to check the tricky questions. So honestly, if you're nervous about math, just review it with Khan Academy. It's not bad at all. Break 2. I ate more raisins. The kid next to me switched to heroin. Oh, and also, this break, I see some people chug Red Bull. Actually, I've seen people chug Red Bull during standardized testing, and it's so weird. It's like some X Games crap, and it's the funniest thing. Have you ever seen someone try to do math while they're in the middle of sprouting wings? Dude, it's algebra, not Tony Hawk's vertical spiral. I have no idea if Red Bull is a good strategy, but looking around during snack time is honestly the most entertaining part of the SAT. 100% recommend it. Don't, yeah, not like you should be thinking about the next sections or anything. This section is mentally hard because it's been 2-something hours and your brain is kind of done with all this stuff. However, it is calculator math, so you have a saving grace. You don't actually have to use your brain for this one. Your calculator has a bigger one anyway. Sorry. If you can, I think it definitely helps to have some kind of graphing calculator. My school requires a TI Inspire or TI-84, and if you learn how to use those things, they are broken. They're OP. They can solve any equation, including simultaneous equations. You just input them and it does it for you. They can graph anything and show you intercepts and minimums and maximums. Don't know why I'm raving about calculators, but anyway, most importantly, they can do 15 divided by 3 so that you can be sure about it, and also 6 times 7 because you're too brain dead to do that in your head. Finally, the examiner stands up and says in the most, I don't want to be here, please take me out this mortal coil. I got a sub 1000 score on this test, and for some reason I work here now voice. Stop. Please put your pencil down and stop any work on this section of the test. You hear this collective sigh from nearly everyone because it's finally over and I can go back home and play Minecraft. Notice how I said nearly everyone. Why? Why would you take the essay? Why would you take the SAT with essay? Oh wait, it's all good. You don't need to anymore. My bad. Sorry. Thank you, College Board. Did a good thing for once. Nice. But hey, big dumb 17-year-old here, don't put any weight on my advice. I literally don't know anything. Anyway, you're done now. Yay! All that's left to do is wait until scores come out. Uh-oh. So scores come out a few months after you take the test. The test is scored out of 1,600 points, and the lowest score you can get is a 400, so don't worry, you at least got a 25%. So when the time comes, you log onto College Board, gaze sadly at all the fake pictures of happy children taking standardized tests, and log in. Your scores greet you, and the world ends. So the best case scenario is that you see your scores and they're great. They're what you wanted. And everyone has a different view on what is a good score. Some Ivy grinders will tell you that they only accept something above a 1550. Some people say anything above a 1500 is a great score. Others say that selective colleges are chill with anything above a 1300. But honestly, I think everyone is just happy when their score is a positive number. But hopefully when the time comes, you'll have met your own goal. Because really, that's the only thing that matters. Everyone knows the SAT is not completely fair, no matter how much the College Board likes to pretend it is. Everyone's dealing with their own shit, so you shouldn't care about what anyone else gets, honestly. I mean, you know what you want, right? You should have your own goal and work on that. Nothing else matters. Some people aren't built for standardized tests. It's like putting a Minecrafter in a social situation. It doesn't work like that. Good news, thanks to COVID, 99% of schools, I think it might be 90, but I'm pretty sure it's 99% of schools in America this year are test optional. So if the SAT isn't the best way to show colleges you're not an idiot, don't send in your scores. It's that simple. If you're bad at the SAT, who cares? No one ever has to know, except the Scantron machine that graded your test, and your parents, and all the colleges College Board sold your scores to. Seriously though, most of what I said is exaggerated. The SAT is not that bad. It's honestly a weird experience. It's pretty funny if you look at it the right way. Everyone in the room around you is your competitor. If you think about it, they're just all competing to get a higher score than you, to be better than you. And honestly, Like, if I just rolled up my test sheet and I just shoved it down the kid's throat who's next to me, that's basically the same thing as scoring better than him. Kind of makes you think. Anyway, honestly, it's pretty funny if you look at it the right way. The right way being on 4 hours of sleep and absolutely brain dead. But if you plan on taking it, don't worry. It's a vibe. Just have fun. That's the worst advice I've ever heard.
Great. Oh my god, it's good. Yeah, the Jensen works. I joined the most popular Capture the Wool guild.
I'm in. I'm in.
He's in.
Let's go.